Hey guys, Mudiwa here, greeting you all with light and love. I thought I'd sit down and make this video because this is something that has been really on my mind today, but also something that has been prevalent on my mind, I could say, since last year even. And it's just the question, what do you really want? Like, what do you really want? I think a lot of the time we get so caught up in everything that we are doing, and hours can turn to days, and days can turn to weeks, weeks to months, and months to years, and we are still stuck on this question of what do we really want? And this is how downward spirals happen. This is how we get so lost in ourselves that we can create this turmoil. And your life that you're living now and your external reality is just a manifestation of what's going on inside you. Sometimes you have to sit down and be like, is what I'm doing what I want? Is it what I really want? Or is what I'm doing leading me to what I truly desire? Sometimes you have to sacrifice before you get to the place where you can start manifesting the rewards. There's always a gritty part before. So confusing I don't want this with something that you need to do in order to get with what you want is also a big confusion that people have. Sometimes we look at our creations and what we're doing, our jobs, our school, our work, and we're like, it doesn't make sense. There's a lack of connection between our true heart's desires and what's going on around us. And a big mistake, not even a mistake, but like something that a lot of people get stuck in is sometimes our lives turn into a journey that we're living for someone else. Sometimes you think that, okay, this is what people want me to do, or this is what's accepted by society, or this is what was laid out for me. But it's not the desires of your heart. And that's where things like haters come in and jealousy, because a lot of the time when you are hating on someone else, it's because within them you see a freedom that you don't have. I don't know if that makes sense. You see someone who's living in their truth and living in their wholeness and living in what their desired reality, and sometimes a normal human reaction is to just hate these people. And I don't think that's fair. I realized, especially there was a time, my second year in Cape Town in 2015, when I started working with different people, and like we were always very productive, and like we would have motivational meetings and everything. And at that time, I realized my hater scale went down astronomically, because if I saw anyone who was chasing after their dreams, I had respect for them, because contrary to popular belief, it's not the easy route. Sometimes you look at other people's lives and we think they have it amazing, or they have it better than I do, and I wish it was that easy for me. But you don't know their backstory until, like, it sounds cliche, but until you walk a mile in someone's shoes, don't assume that what they have is better than what you have. Everyone in life has their own struggles and like hurdles and burdens and things that they need to overcome, and they come in different forms for different people. You need to understand, this is your life. Everyone, there's so many different translations of this message in music, in literature, in cinema. J. Cole made a song called Love Yours. If you're a hip-hop person, listen to it, because he's basically telling that story. Paulo Coelho, The Alchemist, is just talking about the fact that it's within you. If you like certain things or you're interested by certain things, there's a reason behind that. You're this soul creature who is put on this earth to create. When they say you're made in God's image and likeness, it's because you are creating this universe. From the time you're born to the time that you die, it's your universe. You're creating it. And you're creating it in your image and likeness. Your life and your world that you surround and you immerse yourself in is a reflection of you. So when Brian Tracy says things like the 5 people that you surround yourself, you're the average of the 5 people. And like a lot of the time when you want to deny that fact, it's because we don't want to accept that the 5 people that we surround ourselves with, we are those people, because we don't want to be those people. So if the 5 people that you surround yourself with, you don't want to be those people, why are you around those people? It's about your team. Like, your network creates your net worth, if that makes sense. Some of the people that I look up to most in this world, what got to me was their message and how they overcame their obstacles. You need to understand that like where you find strength from, and like a lot of the time we listen to motivational speakers or people that we look up to and we hear their stories and it's very inspiring. In the same way, your story could inspire other people, how you overcame what you had to overcome. Some people overcome poverty. Some people overcome adversity. Some people overcome themselves. You know, I feel like we all overcome ourselves. And what do you really want? What makes you happy? Have you sat down and really thought, like, what do we really want? And there's so many distractions in this reality that just, they literally distract us from really going inside and reflecting. That's why literally from the time I think I started my whole spiritual ascension at the end of last year, and then it was in just before Christmas when I started meditating every day. And let me tell you, it just takes things from 0 to 100, because peace be still, you know what I mean? You start finding your realizations in your quiet time. And it's almost like when I'm trying to evade myself, that's when I'm so plugged into social media. Do you know, like, not going on Twitter or Instagram or Facebook or whatever it is for a week won't kill you? I learned that. I haven't had WhatsApp in like a month and I don't miss it. You know what I mean? I'm slowly discovering myself and detaching myself from the world. You know what? Like, I don't know if that makes sense. You dedicate so much time in investing in other people's lives. For example, Snapchat. I deleted Snapchat in like 2017 because I realized that me fixating over other people's lives and feeling so bad about my own wasn't healthy. You know what I mean? And we start absorbing all these energies. Like, half the tweets on Twitter aren't positive anymore. Half the things you see on the news aren't positive anymore. Most of the world media and news and information is just so negative. Look at the most successful people in the world, the most enlightened people in the world. They'll tell you that most of the time they are focusing on the positive. Warren Buffett says that he sets aside about 5 to 6 hours every single day to read. Jeff Bezos says that he makes sure that he has 8 hours a day to sleep. Like, what you need to, like, there are patterns for a reason. We can't ignore these things. And sometimes we just make excuses for ourselves. We really do make excuses for ourselves, because a lot of the people that I meet and in myself, what I've observed is where your biggest excuse is, like, in where you're lacking, or like, oh, I'll never find love. Love doesn't exist. But then you speak to that same person and they say, well, I don't believe that a relationship can exist without cheating, or it can't work like that, or they have a very negative outlook. So it's, your lack is love in your life, but your views on it and what you speak on it is very negative. So that's what you're going to manifest when you look for it. A lot of the time we are evading ourselves because we don't want to focus on the nitty-gritty. And in discovering who I am and what I'm trying to create and what I'm trying to manifest, I had to stop and I had to reflect. And the truth is, like, for example, last year my insomnia got to a point where it was actually borderline unhealthy. I would be awake for 2 days on end, 3 days on end. It was almost like I was crying for help to so many people, like, yeah, like, I'm not sleeping, this, that, whatever, like, hint, 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 you know what I mean? And the only time I would sleep is when I pass out. And I'm starting to realize that why I didn't sleep is because every time I would lie down and wait for sleep to come to me, everything that I was running away from would flood into my mind first. So that's flashbacks of the past or skeletons in your closet, and it starts haunting you to the point where you can't bear it anymore. I think last year, 75% of the time I cried myself to sleep. Every single time I would be in bed, my pillow would get wet. Like, if I go back to my old house, like, my pillow literally has mascara stains on it that won't come out. But eventually I had to face these skeletons, and in facing your skeletons, you find your truth, and then you also find the lies in your life. The lies on who you are, or what people told you you are, or what you made yourself be because of society or what has happened to you. And you see the faults in your own programming. Some people say that you can't say be who you really are because I change every day. What you need to understand, who you really are is who you are on the 5D. And everyone knows who they are on the 5D. Deep inside, it's just that our ego makes excuses why we shouldn't go for it. You're different for a reason. There is no great person on this planet who was generic. There's no great person on this planet who was a clone. There's no great person on the planet who is a copy paste, because they're the trendsetters. And why they're the trendsetters is because they came into union with themselves. So if you're watching this video today and you're unhappy with your situation, you look around at your life and you're like, what is going on? This is not what I want. I'm not manifesting anything like I want. My content doesn't lie with where I am right now. Unplug. Honestly, unplug from everything. Release all the vibrations that surround you and ask yourself, what do you really want? And it sounds very, very simple, but it's not. It's a very hard question to ask yourself, and the answers don't come overnight. And I think that's another main problem. We expect the answers to come like this. We expect them to come straight away, but they don't. It's a gradual process, and what I can tell you to find your place of content or to manifest the reality that you want is start doing things that you like, and it's baby steps. In the beginning of this whole journey, I'd look around and be very frustrated because it's not where I wanted to be. But you don't jump from 0 to 100. You don't build a house of, like, it doesn't just appear. You don't like click your fingers and it's there. You build the foundations, you lay that cement, and you go brick by brick. Yeah, you have to lay the blueprint, but sometimes in the construction of a house, you realize the problems as you face them. So just start laying your bricks. And slowly the structure will start rising. And before you know it, you'll look at your house. I don't know, I just felt like I needed to sit here and really get that off my chest, because I look around and there's so many people who are hurt, or like, they're just so unhappy, but it's because you're not being who you are on the inside. And that's what's killing you. And that's what's eating you up. And your life isn't your own. You've become a puppet, and you have to figure out who's holding the strings. And sometimes you find that the person who's holding the most strings was yourself. But the self who's controlled about what the world thinks. Don't care. Literally don't care. Let it go. And be real with yourself for a day, you know? And slowly but surely it'll all come together. So if you needed to hear this, I just want you to know that it does get better, and it will start coming together piece by piece. Just give yourself the time that you need, you know? Rome wasn't built in a day, and time is an illusion. Don't think just because you're a certain age or you're in a certain season in your life you can't achieve what you wanted to achieve. Everyone has their own story, fam. And guess what? You're the author of your own. Just don't let your circumstances dictate your future, because that was then and this is now, and the future is a blank page. Anyway, I'm gonna end here because I feel like I've been recording for so long. I'm gonna have to probably snip this up. But light and love your way, guys, and have a blessed, amazing day.